It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome to the Daily Gun Show. We run the show for about an hour or 90 minutes a day. We come to you live on YouTube. We also simulcast over on gunchannels.com. We do watch the comments from everyone coming in live. It's actually one of the reasons that the show was started was for the interactivity with the live audience, so we do appreciate everybody that's coming in watching us live, everyone watching us later, and we also appreciate all the feedback that we get. Everyone's subbed to all the channels. Their chat hosts are really putting in a lot of effort. The content creators over here on Gun Channels are doing a lot, so make sure you go over, check them out, support them, subscribe to them, and also make sure you check out gunchannels.com. Today we are a little short of one person, but we don't know where G-Webs is at right now. So starting the show, we got Bob coming in from Canada.
Hey, glad to be here.
And I'm Jimmy, coming in from Arizona. So let's see here. Just got a text from the man himself. Actually, he said he should be around in a few minutes. So we'll see. Anyway, usually we like to start the show with anything that happened overnight or in the early hours of the morning. Anything with you, Bob?
Not with me. No, I was completely kind of off grid last night.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to kind of like parrot G-Webs here for a second, because he was talking about Clover Tax chat last Thursday about how great it was, and he was talking about the tags and everything. There was actually a lot of information for people to be gained, especially like I said earlier, the content creators, all that. Well, yesterday it was almost, I don't know if Clover Tax would consider it a part two, but it was almost a continuation of that conversation. It was a really good chat. I got to catch the end of it, and it made me want to catch the rest of it. So I'm going to have to go back and watch the first part. Other than that, yeah, nothing really going on. Let's see if we got anybody out there in the comments. Let's see, you got Clay over on Gun Channels, Rupin, Moon. Got anybody chatting over on YouTube yet? Let's see. Nope. No likes either. So everybody make sure when you come in today, hit that thumbs up button. Says we have 6 people watching right now.
I can't even see it on YouTube. It's not even showing the feed yet.
Yeah. Let's see here. So I guess this might be one of those shows that we just cruise through, guys. So we're gonna just jump into the show. Screw it. Let's see what we got. So our topics for today will be gun tech, gun biz, and alt gun topics. We'll also have our regular daily gun of the day, movie of the day, and pretty sure I got a gun shop of the day hanging around if G-Webs doesn't show up. So we'll have everything you've ever loved about the Daily Gun Show. So I guess we'll start off today with gun tech. Practical accessories. Let's see here. Where was I going with this when I wrote this down?
Is that like lights and all that kind of garbage?
Yeah, I guess lights. I guess extended magazine extensions. I guess those are considered accessories. Optics, maybe, if you want to consider those accessories.
Is practical or tactical, you said?
Practical.
Practical.
So accessories that actually have a use.
All right. Okay. That's different. Yeah. I kind of like, I do and I don't. I mean, I think lights on a pistol look dumb, but I can see the point of them.
Yeah, I could see them being used, definitely, yeah. At night, like my I guess you would call it the nightstand gun or whatever. I put a light on that, but that's just because it's pitch black in my I can't sleep with any lights on, so something to I guess kind of identify the target. But when I'm walking around during the day, I just have a little regular old flashlight with me. Like, I don't know, I don't really like carrying my gun with the flashlight on it. I guess maybe if it was nighttime, I'd put that in consideration, but still probably not. Let's see what else. Well, we talked about like lasers and stuff yesterday. I guess they have a use. I don't know. I kind of disagree with the whole they can be used. I don't like the fact that there's some people that kind of handicap themselves with it. To learn how to point and shoot with a laser, it's going to be hard. Well, not hard, but harder, I guess. What else? Magazine extensions.
Yeah,
I've had a couple. I carry extended magazine for my Glock in the car, but it's not like I can carry a 30-round magazine in my pocket. I guess I could, but look weird.
Yeah.
I might attract some ladies.
There you go.
I get what else could be a practical accessory? Like ARs. Hell, you could build you could just. It's like the sky's the limit of the accessories you could put on an AR.
Well, yes, sky's the limit with the AR, right?
Yeah, not too many people out there chatting. It is early. It is Friday, so that's kind of understandable.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know. Accessorizing your gun. I think that there's some people that go a little bit too far with it, whether it be a handgun, rifle, whatever. There are some people that go a little bit too far. Like you got, 2 scopes and a flashlight on either side, a laser on the bottom with a bipod, and I don't know.
Yeah.
There's some people that go crazy.
Yeah, backup irons on the side of the rail and
yeah. So you could, turn the gun sideways and
yeah. Yeah, that's one thing that you don't think about it, that these parts don't look like they weigh much, and they don't weigh much individually, but you start piling a bunch of them on your gun and you kind of defeat the purpose of having a lightweight gun.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what I heard somebody say before. They were like, yeah, that's why you do a lightweight build, so you can throw as much stuff on it as you can, and it only weighs as much as a regular rifle. No, that's not the point at all.
Nope.
The point of having lightweight is so it's lightweight, you can carry it, all that, But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we're talking practical accessories, then you kind of got your light, and you got a few other things, but there isn't a whole lot of stuff that's absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like our fearless leader has shown up, driving into some military base or something.
Oh, yep, we're in Dayton, Ohio at the Air Force Museum.
Oh, that's supposed to be a good one.
Yeah, they shut it down. We told them the bare minimum needed to give us a tour. So they have like 4 people, and then the whole museum is ours today. We roll.
Nice.
All right, let's see if we're getting any. Tom Moon was saying his lightweight AR has a light, a red dot, and still weighs like 5.1 pounds. But yeah, that's minimal accessories. So that's what I would stick with if you're gonna accessorize, I guess.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. Yeah.
Cool. Well, G-Webs, you got anything to add into practical accessories? Or just kind of talking about stuff that people would put on their gun at a minimal, I guess. At a minimum.
We also got Pink here.
Oh, hey, what's up, Pink?
So also Edge was saying he's off work today. So somebody send Edge a link, please.
Oh, yeah.
appreciate that because I didn't think about it. I can't do it while I'm on the phone. So, practical accessories, you said, for what kind of gun?
Pistol, rifle, don't matter. Both.
Then a light, and then on a rifle, a bayonet. Then you're done.
Sling.
Pink is saying a sling. I don't know.
Yeah.
Can you hear him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard him. Yeah, I didn't even actually really think about that as an accessory. Yeah, that is a good point.
Yeah, I kind of think of those as just being part of the rifle, bayonet, and a sling.
All right, just PM badge. Cool. Well, let's see if we got some more comments coming in. Possibly move on. Enrique saying he just has lights, sling, and irons, red dots. Yeah, pretty much everybody agreed with this one. So I think it's safe to say that we solved it and we can move on.
Yeah, I think so.
Sounds good.
Cool. So between the first and second segment of every show, we usually like to highlight a Gun Channels member or, lately, last week, we were doing some Patreon people. I don't know if you wanted to keep that going. Gee, I can go on your Patreon real quick and pick somebody if you want.
Yeah, feel free. But no, let's do Yankee today. Yankee did a real nice shout out yesterday for the Gun Show Loophole Tour and the reasons behind it. So I don't think we talk about that guy very often, but he was definitely one of the people that we chatted with a lot and he made the live conversations. Pink is just sitting here peeing. That's kind of rude. So
Gotta go. It's old man syndrome.
Yankee is a character, and from back in the day, talking live or whatever, he made it interesting. Actually, if it would have been an echo chamber back then, it would have been like a forum or something. I think it would have been a lot less appealing for me personally, and probably a lot of people. This whole live conversations that we have that now have evolved into places like Gun Channels and whatnot. Yeah, Yankee. So he's I've met him a few times now. You've met Yankee plenty of times. So he's the real deal. Whatever you've seen on them videos is Yankee. He's not putting on no show. He's a character, and he's the real deal. I don't agree with everything he says, hardly ever, but he he's got his his positions, and he can enunciate why he's got them, and he changes them. So that's the other thing is Yankee's not totally rigid, and he changes stuff all the time. So anyway, I think he's a good guy, and he like I say, he in his live show yesterday, if people don't know, Yankee's got one of the largest audiences I know of for live podcasts, and in a lot of ways, that's good because he gets a big, crazy bunch of audience, people that just like to listen to the fights, and people that have watched them for a long time, people that are novices and looking into guns for the first time and looking for an alternative type of method of getting the information out there. It's unique.
Yeah, I think I had one conversation with Yankee on a lobby chat once, so I don't really have a lot of personal things to say about him, but I do know that indirectly he kind of brought me over to Gun Channels. The first time that I ever saw him was a live chat where he was arguing with Jaeger, and I was like, who the heck is this guy? And started watching this. So yeah, he's definitely an interesting character and has entertaining conversation for sure.
Yeah, Yankee's a different type fella, that's for sure. Yeah, I've met him a couple times, and he's a nice guy. Like, regardless of what your opinion, in real life, he's a decent, nice guy. He's just, but exactly like you see on the videos, and yeah, he will change his mind sometimes in the middle of an argument while you're not looking. But yeah, he's a good one. He's been around for as long as I have, not longer. So good pick.
Yep. Well, yeah, and that's another thing too. I know we haven't really done the story time in a while, but that's where yanking a chat came from. When you switch positions and just to start an argument. Don't Yankee me. All right. So yeah, Yankee, good dude. So our second segment here is gun biz, and that is kid's first gun. I didn't put that one, so I don't know where it was going with that.
Son?
Yeah.
A kid's first? Okay.
Yeah. So like a cricket. Like a cricket. I mean, if they're a little kid, I guess a little Daisy or something like that, you know.
I don't know. I'm gonna take it the way I was raised, and I was given a gun when I was a little kid, baby, like when I was born. So
Yeah.
I don't think the baby has to necessarily be able to use a gun in order to be given a gun when it's a baby. So I give my godkids and stuff guns when they're born, so they just have revolvers right away. I think it's important for a kid to know when he already owns a revolver.
Yeah, I didn't think about it like that. Yeah, that is a good.
Actually, that's kind of an excellent idea.
But I guess if we're talking practically what they can shoot, I like crickets. I think they're great. They got the short stock, so they're made for a kid right away. I think Clover he's not a fan because of their goofy, old-fashioned like cock like operation. You load it and then you have to pull back that basically the hammer, I guess. You have to pull it back like a plunger. Which there's definitely Remingtons from the olden days that are like that. It's not a new or a thing. It's just it's kind of crude compared to the old ones. But the old ones will cost you $350 for a garbage one and thousands for a good one that you're not going to want to give a kid anyway.
Yeah, we have the same thing up here. They made them in Canada. They're called the Cooey single shot, and they made them in like all kinds of different models of them, and they're really popular up here. And they work just like the cricket, basically single shot bolt action. You had to pull back on the striker hammer, whatever you want to call it. But that was my first gun, and the excellent part about it is it's a single shot, and it's got and you have to cock it, so it's very safe. And it's strange enough, a lot of kids like the bolt action rifle. But yeah, I've got a Cooey Ace, which is basically a 1950s version of a cricket. It had a short stock on it, 16-inch barrel, like the whole gun was short. Made basically for a kid.
Yeah, I didn't. Was this gun was a 190 rifle, and it was not. I mean, it was 22, so it wasn't a recoil, but wasn't a kid-sized gun, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that's the one thing I always thought was really neat about these little Aces is they're a kid-sized gun, so they're just the bare minimum to be legal.
I thought Jimmy grew up in Chicago, so I think your first gun would have been like some Glock you found when you were trying to find a book.
that came later on in life.
Now, isn't it easier to get a gun than a book in Chicago?
Yeah. Glock. Specifically. No, that is false. Anybody out there that doesn't get sarcasm, that's false.
No, I'm pretty sure Obama said that. It was easier to get a book than a gun in Chicago. Or maybe that was Detroit.
If he did, then it's fact. All right. Well, we talked about like kid rifles. How about handguns? Think that kids are able to have handguns put in their hand, or they're too irresponsible and they'll end up shooting everybody?
Well, I've taken pictures before. I like to take pictures of guns, and I gave a little baby kid one of the NAA revolvers, and look, empty, of course, and like immediately the kid cocked the hammer back and pulled the trigger on. And this little baby kid that there's no way it knew what a gun was. So I think it's just the ergonomics of a gun are so much built for your hand that I don't think you have to know anything. So I think kids are going to figure out guns, pretty quick.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We also have a story where we took, how old was she? I think she was only like 12, and we were out shooting, and she wanted to shoot the H&K USP. And we said, all right, well, if you can pull the slide back, and we didn't even get the word out, and she had pulled the slide back. So yeah, I think kids can operate guns that we might not, something like a 9mm or something with a big frame. I think kids, as long as they can hold on, can shoot them.
Well, it just goes to show that guns have been around for so long. They've like Glock calls it their state of perfection or whatever. But I mean, they pretty much have evolved into something that just fits into our hands. I mean, the ergonomics and everything are just there. They've got it figured out pretty well.
Yeah.
What were you saying with single action 22?
Yeah, like a little Rough Rider, single action.
Oh yeah, and like a lot of modern revolvers too. They make it hard for like the double taps to happen and stuff like that. But yeah, single action, way to go. I like those. What are they? That high standard, or like some type of like little target 22 pistol, I guess.
I mean, I guess it also depends. If you're taking a kid out for familiarization and just, you want to get the kids' curiosity satisfied, I think you take the kid out for that kind of range session. And then when a kid shows interest in actually, proficiency, then you take them out for marksmanship. And, that's when you start thinking about bolt actions. And I tend to go with the slower, right? Go with a bolt action for learning. So the kid's not anticipating the next shot. I'll do better on the next shot, or I'll guide it in with that next shot. When it takes a little while to get that next shot in there, you appreciate each shot more, I think. Is our audio coming in okay? It's pretty low.
Oh yeah, you're coming in. Let's see what the comments are over here. Tony's saying on gun channels, my dad had a Marlin lever action 22. We also used to shoot that. Like shooting bolt actions when he was a kid. Moon says his sons shot SR-22 when they were 5. So yeah, that's getting them in there. Yeah, it's good to get them in there young. Right now, I got the 4-year-old grandkid. I got him working on a little Walther PPQ air. What are they? Air pistols, whatever, airsoft. So I got
the ones that are the same size as the real gun.
Yeah, it's as authentic as it gets look wise, but yeah, it's like a regular airsoft gun.
Yeah, and much lighter.
Yeah, yeah. So he could actually hold it. He could manipulate all the actions. Rack the slide, hit the safety, hit the magazine release, all that. Even though it has that weird like Walther German magazine release, but probably should have got like an American airsoft or something.
The American magazine release is so intuitive that if he learns the European one, then when he does get an American one, it'll just be like, oh, this is so much better.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
It's like starting them off with black powder, starting them off with the crudest, most basic, backwards first.
Yeah,
I think we solved it.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Yeah, but I feel good. It's all the kids that are going to grow up with the correct gun situation now because of the show.
That's true. We've saved the people a lot of trouble buying the wrong stuff.
So what does that take us into?
We are going into alt gun topics, which is empty. So if anybody out there has any suggestions, I guess if you guys have anything.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about the Air Force Museum then. So it's the guns because it's our biggest arsenal of stuff, right? So Air Force Museum's been here a long time in Dayton, which is about midway up and down and then over to the left by Indiana a little bit. So pretty accessible, I'd say, from pretty much anywhere here in the Midwest or whatever this is called. Is this still the Midwest? This is Midwest already. Yeah. So big place. It's right on the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. You don't have to go into the Air Force Base. We were wondering, as far as what to do with going into an Air Force Base, but it's all before you even get into the base. So you can come in with a big camper or whatever and park it out there. Plenty of parking. It's free to go in, but you can't bring in any water, and there's no drinking fountains, so they get you. And then no guns. It's on a it's a museum and it's on an Air Force base. No knives. They got like a metal detector. Kind of lame. But anyway, it's a great museum. It's we showed you at the beginning here. Actually, I can do it right now. What am I doing? Get this technology here. If it's working, those buildings right there are the museum. So we're just around the side of it, basically. So each of these giant hangars is full of airplanes and missiles and cool stuff from the Air Force. And you just walk through sort of self-guided audio, or video off, so it sounds better. Self-guided. Did you have to pay for a map? I thought that was kind of lame.
I think it said on the web, like somebody commented on the website, you had to pay for a map or give a donation for a map.
Okay, so it's not a charge, but there's not. That's the one weak thing about it is there's not like big maps like you are here. Here's where this stuff is, so you can quickly get to places. It's huge. I'd say you'd want to give yourself, if you care about airplanes at all, even if you don't care about airplanes, you want to give yourself a whole day. If you care about airplanes at all, 2, and I don't even think 3 is unrealistic. Like maybe a couple of trips if you can't do 3 days, but there's no way to see everything that's in this museum. It's excellent. And it's not the type where there's just a plane here and there. They're piled and packed on top of each other, and then they're hanging above each other. Descriptions. All the hallways are full of other stuff. What'd you say?
I said, sweet. I'm going to have to stop in that museum.
Yeah, there's definitely plenty of parking for all kinds of vehicles. So camper, trailer, no problem. And yeah, can't say enough good things about it. It's definitely worth checking out. So I'm sure a lot of people have been to it. Feel free to leave comments and stuff.
Bob wouldn't want to leave.
Yeah, Bob wouldn't leave.
Then was it one of those deals like where that one that we were trying to go to where they make you do background checks and all that before you enter?
No, that's what I was concerned about, but nothing like that. What we're talking about is when we went to Fort Huachuca. It's an Army fort south of Tucson, about halfway between Tucson. Well, it's almost on the border of Mexico, and the international border with Mexico. And it's where they do intelligence training and linguistics. Like when you do one of those jobs in the military, that's one of the places they'll send you to train. I know they fly drones around there. And I know there's a lot of contracted computer work going on for military stuff. And I think military intelligence is partly there. So it's a secure base and everything. But up until the last time we visited, you just drive on and look at the museum. And it's a great museum. These Army forts were, I think, of what a horse's ride, however long a horse could go really fast is basically where the forts were. Because that's, that was the thing that mattered back then. So it was one of the few that remained. And all of its history in the museum is about that era. So Pony Express and the Indian Wars. So it's a great museum with lots of actual artifacts. Fortunately, you go through the gate and it's like you can almost see the museum at the end of the road from the gate. And even then, you had to go through basically a military background check, which I don't know, took 20 minutes or something. And they told us that that's only good for the one fort. So if you were to go to some other fort and look at its museum, go through that whole thing again. It doesn't cost anything, but time. Now you got to part around doing all that. So you don't have to do any of that stuff here. This is all before you get onto the Air Force Base, and it's just a museum, so you can go in and out at your leisure, and it's free. I think you said that.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I like those kind of places, and I mean, I don't want to discourage people from going. Because I mean, a background check. Obviously, if you could buy a gun, you're going to be fine. But
Oh, it's just that's the thing. If you were to do like a tour of all the military museums, man, that would just be annoying. It would take probably spend 20 minutes at each one. Every 5, you're spending an hour of your life sitting there at an MP booth waiting for them to do the same background check on you.
Yeah. Anyway,
so that's the Army forts that we're talking about. This one, I've been going to this one since I was a little kid. I grew up all around this areas, and I was in Civil Air Patrol, which is the Air Force Junior Auxiliary for kids, basically. So we went here all the time for the history and just to see the planes. It's a little different from then, which is good. They're always changing it around. It's a living museum. But there's a lot of neat stuff. The one thing that it was missing, we'll talk about it in a future show. So we've talked about it before, and Bob will get, I think, some kind of horrible satisfaction from it. but we found a same thing about the museum that's changed. That's a cliffhanger, so now people have to listen to another show in the future, but you don't know which show.
So you have to stay tuned in.
Yep. So I guess that was alternative fun topic. Oh, I guess I would say I've been coming here since I was a kid. They used to have a World War II exhibit with some guns, 1911s, maybe a Thompson, and I'm sure a Garand and a Springfield. But we tore through it. We got here a bit late, and at least for the show. So we ran through, looked for something that unfortunately wasn't there, and then checked out some of the Titan or the ICBMs, which used to be outside. It's kind of impressive seeing them in a room together. And then you get a chance to say, you know how those things are holding up there? Those, like, on the Titan at least, those 4 little blue things is what holding that Titan missile up. There's nothing else holding that thing up. So those other ones had like 5 or 6 attachment points, but in the silo, they just always sit on those 4 little things. And they must empty them. I'm sure they're just shells. But anyway, it's really neat to be in a room with silo or missiles. It's not much bigger than a silo, but there's like 7 missiles in there. So they're just all like in a bunch of pillars, and you kind of can stand at the bottom of them. It's super neat. So anyway, they were talking about guns. They used to have a bunch of guns on display. I'm not sure if they're still on display or not, so maybe that's something we can ask the audience out there. There must be people that frequent this museum on a regular basis, especially just to keep up with the changing displays and stuff. But there were some today.
Let's go and see some of the comments. Hey, Ghost, greetings and salutations.
This was the first time I got to see an SR-71. That would have been probably mid-'80s, and I think it was the first one on display. It might be I think it was the first one on display, but if it wasn't the first, it was the second, and that was pretty neat. Used to have to go outside and go look at it outside. Now it's all inside. It's all dusty too. It's kind of sad. Dust off. How many SR-71s have y'all seen?
Me, 0.
Bob?
I think I've seen about 3.
What do you think?
That was the first one
Okay.
in real life.
So there's like 7, I think, out there. And I'm at like 3 or 4, I think, maybe. I'd have to think. But every once in a while, I'll walk through and everybody's going to be like, oh, another SR-71, bingo. So that's the thing to do. Try to see them at the different museums. I think as they retire them, they'll probably go out to more and more museums.
Oh, they're all retired now.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, they're all.
Yeah, sure. They are. They're retired, Bob. Like you. They're retired. It's just that they're also far.
Yeah, they didn't make that many of them, you know.
Okay. We told you how many they made. We made sure Canada knows how many SR-71s we got.
Just finished reading a big article about the SR-71.
Well, what do we got for gun of the day? What's the odds of us bumping that to the SR-71?
Yeah, we can do that.
Let's see. Maybe that is a possibility.
What about wouldn't we be better using the
Is Dano in?
the A-12, because that one actually did carry weapons. That was the version of the SR-71 that was built as a fighter.
Yeah, I'm all right with that. Sold the guns. So what did it have? 20s? Must have been 20s or more.
No, it didn't have guns. It had missiles. That was it.
It had guns. They put guns on it, and they figured out real quick that they're pointless. But they used them for if it was taken off or something. But I remember I had a poster, and it was on there.
I don't remember them ever having guns on them. I'll have to look that up.
Poster, so you have to take it up with whoever made that poster in 1982. But anyway, so yeah, we're talking about the militarized one. They would launch a drone off it. They could drop missiles out of it, right?
Yeah.
We just didn't use militarized drones back then. We were barely figuring out how to screw with drones, and we figured out it's not really all that necessary to whip a drone out at Mach 3.
Yeah, well, and they lost a drone when they were flying over China with it. It was like basically a spy drone. They were flying over China, and they lost it, and it ended up in Russia, but the Russians didn't know what they had. So
The Superman. Like Superman's little capsule.
Yeah.
They couldn't get they couldn't reach.
basically, yeah. I mean, that's the funny thing is the Russians had this thing for years and years and never knew what it was.
So yeah, the SR-71, we're talking about the fastest plane ever built, made. So basically, they took titanium, turned it into the fastest airplane ever made. It's so fast that when it flies, it has like the gas tanks leak on the ground, right? They have to get it up in the air, get it going fast so that the titanium expands so the gas tanks quit leaking, and then refuel it. It takes off over Florida to do operations over Washington State. Like it takes the entire country to get up to speed. And then it's going, 3 times to 5 times the speed of sound or something like that?
Officially 3 times, but most of the pilots who flew it said it still wanted to go faster, but it was most efficient at Mach 3.
With its cameras and whatnot. So it could go Mach 3 faster, 3 times faster than sound across Russia and whatever, taking pictures, whatever we felt like. They saw something go by later.
They fired thousands of missiles at it over the years, the Russians, the Chinese, and everybody else, but nobody ever got close to hitting it. It was just so fast, and it flew so high. It flew at 90,000 feet.
So before they even knew what was going on, it was gone, and they couldn't have got a missile up there if they wanted.
Yeah, they would launch them, but the missiles would never get to altitude. And by the time it got to altitude, the plane was 3 countries over.
And that's what you get when you don't use stupid metric system.
But it was an incredible aircraft, especially when you think of when it was made. Like, because it was designed in the 60s. It was,
on slide rules and paper.
Yeah, actually, again, that's a Kelly Johnson design, same guy who designed the U-2, which was another spy plane that flew at 90,000 feet, but it only flew at 600 miles an hour. That's why it got shut down.
It's cool because it looks kind of goofy. The SR-71 is dramatically better because of how awesome it looks.
Yeah, and it uses, like, its engines are really unique because they're a hybrid engine, believe it or not hybrid as we think of them as being electric, but they're a ramjet as well as a standard jet. So what they do is when they get up past Mach 1.5, the nose cones on the engines will adjust, and the air then goes around the engine and gets ignited in the tail part of the motor, which gives you really great efficiency. It works as a ramjet. So like instead of having to have a turbine to push the air in, the speed of the airplane is actually enough to push that air in fast enough. So it actually got better gas mileage at Mach 3 than it did at 500 miles an hour. Just an amazing piece of engineering genius.
Oh, I'm muted. Great. So a C5 just blew past overhead there. I don't know if anybody saw it. That was probably for the show. So thanks, Air Force, for doing the flyby for the show. Appreciate it. Good timing. Those Air Force people are pretty good at timing things.
Yeah, they always got good watches.
So it was the Air Force's birthday a couple of days ago too. So I think it was fitting. Worked out pretty good showing up here for the show today. Oops. Okay, so anything else about the SR-71? I think we could go on and on doing a whole show about it. Bob and I have talked about driving around looking at Air Force museums and just doing little shows on the planes. How cool would that be? Or just, I don't care if me and Bob do it, but how cool would it be if somebody went around like some of these nice shows and archived some pilots sitting in front of their planes, someplace like Pima Air Museum or here, where they could just literally sit in front of it, and when it's time to tell you about, when this thing, and they could just walk over and poke at something, like when this thing pivoted around here, that was a pain in the ass, or like this thing was beautiful because it did this awesomely or something. They could just be like pointing it out. Then maybe the ones, that'd be kind of cool. You could, I don't know if they're cutting out there.
Sure.
Cool.
Yep.
So,
Gun of the day, movie of the day,
something of the day. Let's see what we got over here.
I can think of a movie of the day. What do you
Movie
think?
of the day. Let's see.
Huh?
Getting bombarded by fire. Wish I could hop on my plane and fly away.
I didn't even notice it was cool enough to put a windbreaker on.
Yes, sir. It is time to crack your knuckles and whip out them keyboards. We are going to do the quiz, but we are doing it a little bit differently today. Today, we are going to read off the lyrics of a gun-related song, and you guys are going to have to either use your Google Foo or your Wikipedia skills, or maybe you just know the song and guess the artist and the song title. Just try something new, see how it goes. So, today's quiz, I will start right.
You're gonna make Bob say it?
Oh yeah, sure. If you want to, Bob, go for it. You know where to find it at?
No, you go ahead. Yeah, you go ahead. You can do this one, Jimmy.
All right. So I will make sure to read slowly and pronounce. So here is another topic I'm addressing. So learn a quick lesson about your Smith & Wesson. Sit your ass back and comprehend as I let you know about man's best friend. Now remember, it used to be a dog like Lassie, but now in 91, it's a gun if you ask me, just like a Jimmy hat's used for protection. I use my 9 when suckers start to flexin'. Because if you run up and try to play mine, I'd rather have an AK than a fucking K9. Because if you shot your gun and my dog tried to fetch her, me and my dog's going out on a stretcher. And I ain't with that, so I gotta get that big black gat, and I aim to hit that. Forget about the dog, fool. He'll shit in the den. Nowadays, a gat is a man's best friend.
It's like poetry.
Music to ears.
I'm gonna say that next time Bob's flexing.
We got answers on the Gun Channel side. Let's see here. Who had it first? Ghost? Ghost had it first. Ice Cube, man's best friend. So congratulations, Ghost. You are the winner today. And with that, kind of before we go on to the whole hot shot thing and all that, I'd like to see maybe, and hopefully you guys agree, some feedback on the tactical quiz. How do you guys like? Do you guys like those visual quizzes? Do you guys like this kind of stuff? Do you guys just like the plain old reading your question like a robot and you guys answer it? So give us some feedback over at dailygunshow@gmail.com if you get the chance. Really be appreciated. Yeah, and so with that, congratulations, Ghost. I'll hand it off to Bob.
Yeah, so on that note, that makes you Ghost Tactical. You are the tactical hot shot of the day. Congratulations.
Yeah, Moon Food is saying mix it up. So that's what I'm thinking. But all right, so we can move on now. Let me get back over to the sheet. What do we have for gun of the day, Bob?
We have the Savage 99 lever action rifle. So this is an interesting lever action because it uses a rotary magazine. It can actually shoot .308 and stuff like that, like a pointed bullet. So it was I guess an innovation for its day, because this was, it was designed when lever actions were the big thing. Very popular hunting rifle up here. And like I say, you got a lever action, .308, rotary magazine. Works pretty cool. Nice rifles. My dad had them when I was a kid. I used to love that gun.
Let me screen share here. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, actually. Looks pretty cool. Predecessor was the 92. Hold on a second. Let me lock on.
Right. Yeah, they're a nice looking lever action. They're not your traditional looking lever, really. The foreend's a little different. The
actual lever is smaller too, huh?
Yeah, and it's shaped differently. Eh? It's got kind of more of a contour to it, curve to it. But yeah, very interesting gun. And like I say, it works really good.
And what caliber was it again?
Oh, this one's 308. It came in a bunch of different rifle calibers, but
Oh, okay.
Or the one I was kind of thinking of was 308. That's the one my dad had, because you know that's a nice cartridge for hunting.
Oh yeah.
You know, you got lots of choices on bullet weight, and of course the advantage with that rotary magazine is you don't have to use the round nose bullets like you do with tubular.
Yeah, there's a picture of that lever too. It's yeah.
Yeah, you can see that's quite a different mechanism.
Yeah, it's a real cool gun. Now, was this gun ever like if this was just pretty much designed to be a hunting gun?
Yeah, that was pretty much just for hunting. Yeah. But yeah, they made them in a bunch of different calibers. Yeah, I think they show on the different calibers you could get down there. Yeah, and they made a takedown. Yeah, they were just a real interesting gun, and actually thinking I should get one again.
Yeah, these are pretty cool.
Yeah, they got a very smooth profile. They're just a really good looking gun.
I need to practice more with that 94 that I got. I want to get like you know how the single action shooter competitions are, cowboy shooters. They shoot that thing like it's fully automatic, man.
Oh yeah. Well, they soup up the actions on those, but
yeah, it's true.
But yeah, they're pretty amazing, pretty quick.
Yep, very cool gun.
Yep. And you know, it's still a lever action, so it's still, you know, everybody just thinks it's just a nice hunting rifle, but you know, it's 308.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be a man stopper if need be.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a moose stopper, so when it can stop 1,800 pounds of meat coming at you, 200 isn't a problem.
All right, let's see what they're still talking about rap songs in the comment. See, I ruined the chat and made everybody just go rap song.
Young kids today, that's all I can think about, that rap music.
Yeah. It's ruining everything. All right. So the gun of the day, Savage Model 99.
Indeed.
All right. Guess I should start Xing these things out. Movie of the day. Now, G-Webs, I don't know, were you saying that you wanted to do a movie of the day?
Yeah, Pink's got one.
Okay.
Firefox. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Firefox?
Yeah, that's a good one.
And main actor of the movie, the SR-71.
Like a Russian hybrid between SR-71 and Blue Thunder, kind of, right? It had like that helmet, you could look at shit and it would shoot at it.
Right. Or you think in Russian and it would deploy the weapon system.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
The helmet, yeah.
Yeah, because they have those helmets now. Most fighter pilots have those. They can just look at the target and fire.
So that building there must be where those missiles are.
Yeah.
Yeah, whole other building.
Firefox.
That is
Clint Eastwood.
Dirty Harry flying a plane.
Yeah. Oh, and he was bad too. In that.
It was definitely Cold War and lots of guns in it, but I haven't seen it in forever. I'm wondering if there was a bunch of AKs in it.
Let's see here. Oh, yeah, they had a Valmet. Let's see. Had a bunch of Makarovs. Tokarev.
Tokarevs. Oh, wait. What the heck is that? Oh, Valmet.
Yeah. 5.56. Hudson replica. Oh, they had SK too. SKS. SK.
Gonna be a douchebag account.
Been listening to too much Ice Cube. Yeah, that was all the AKs they had in there.
Yeah, not really much. Well, I guess that was back in the day. It was hard to get real AKs, eh?
There might be like guards or something with dozens and dozens of those, though. That just says
Oh
like
yeah.
not how many. Because look, there's a bunch of guards right there.
Yeah, but they were also using the replicas.
Well, it counts as a gun in a movie, though.
That's true.
See, that little Walther don't even look right in his hands. Uh-oh.
Look too big.
No, he needs 44.
No. But he's got to be, a little subtle,
Yeah,
so.
that's true. Well, he concealed it in Dirty Harry. Well, look, if he had a 44, he could have just took that whole line of guys out right there.
Yeah, right through the wall.
Yeah, this is one of the movies that I saw once, and I really can't remember it, but I do remember it being a good movie, like watching it all the way through and not falling asleep. So I'll give it a thumbs up. I'm probably gonna have to go back and rewatch it now.
Yeah, that's the whole point of the segment, right? To remind people of a movie they haven't seen in a while, or youngins the movies they haven't seen yet. I'd say this is a good example. I'm gonna give it 1 because I don't remember, but probably 2 because it is a pretty cool movie, I think.
Yeah, I'll give it 2 thumbs up for being a good movie, but only 1 for the authenticity on the planes. I mean, the Russian Superjet look, like Pink was saying, it looks like an SR-71, except it's got, droopy wingtips and it's got a goofy nose, and
They Blue Thundered it up.
yeah, basically.
It was like the beginning of how we knew there was something coming called stealth, but we didn't know yet. So I think it was trying to look stealthish without us, being common yet.
Yes. Well, the SR-71 actually incorporated stealth.
Well, but the right
stealth coatings. So
we got to start wrapping it up. It's pretty freaking hot here for some reason, even though it's middle of Ohio. But my van's starting to overheat a bit. I don't want to head out on a drive overheat.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool. I think that was all we had anyway.
That's pretty much.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah, Firefox was the movie of the day. Make sure you check that out.
For sure.
So today's Friday. So later on today, either Pants or Connery have been posting lobbies. So if you like the conversation, feel free to take it over to the open conversation here, the open lobby. And Edge does his show tonight, Edge 4006. Did anybody send Edge a link? He was going to jump in today. No. Anyway, he's got a show around today. I don't know if Heavy does shows anymore at all. Does he do show? Maybe he'll start doing it again. I don't know what his schedule is, but now he's all moved in. Maybe they'll start seeing a show from Heavy. Otherwise, Clover does a show today. I thought I'm missing one. Am I missing somebody? Guess not. Maybe. So then Saturday, Travis does his what's it called on Saturday? Caliber. And then Rick does Rick's Life as I See It in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So we'll see everybody back here on Monday, right? Jimmy does the early watch show just prior to this one, and join him for that, and then transition into our show starting at noon on the East Coast.
All right.
Well, thanks. Pink was nice enough to host me here in Ohio and to help out with the van. Got rid of some squeaks, helped fix the electric. So again, appreciate all that. Been a pleasure. Museum, we kind of went to the museum at fast pace, but
I'm definitely coming back.
We'll try maybe when Bob sneaks down here, we'll maybe meet up here again.
Oh yeah, for sure. I want to see that museum. Better see lots of pictures on Instagram thingy too.
I'm hoping to get to Indiana gun show this weekend and an Illinois gun show, another Illinois gun show. So check those out next week, and we'll go back and address Bob's morbid fascination with the lack of something at this museum. Take pleasure in our suffering. We'll be talking about that in the future show.
Okay. Well, on that cheery note, we got a quote today from Winston Churchill. But let's just keep going with that British theme that I've been thinking of. Anyway, but before that, I just want to thank everybody for listening and watching it, and remind everybody, please hit the thumbs up, please hit the subscribe, please hit the like button, and if you can, support us on Patreon. Link is in the description. So anyway, this one's from Winston Churchill. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is a courage to continue that counts. And on that really crappy impression, thanks everybody for watching and listening. We'll see you all tomorrow. Or no, actually, on Monday. Never mind. Monday. We'll see you Monday.
That British accent threw you off.
The guys and gals of gunwebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching gunwebsites.com.